Hello and welcome to the Urban Connection, your urban connection. All right. Now, ladies and gentlemen, today I'm going to give you a program unlike any other that I've done in my 4 years of podcasting. I'm going to talk about three subjects, three female subjects, and they're all popular uh, female artists of a different industry. Well, two of them are rap in the rap industry, hip hop, and one is an actress slash uh, television talk show host slash burnout political artist. Okay, so let's get started. The first of these people that we're going to talk about here today is going to be this woman right here, and let me get her. And I want to show you because all three of these have one thing in common, and that's what we're going to talk about here today. So the first person I want to talk about is this woman right here. Her name is Stacy Dash, and most of you know her from all the early 2000s, 2007, 2008, somewhere in that area. Now, Stacey was an aspiring, uh, partially successful actress, and she starred in a few movies. She had some bit parts, and she had what you might call a minor part, major part in one or two movies. And look, by all accounts, and if you look at her, this is an early picture, and Stacey was, by all means, an attractive woman. She was, to a certain extent, a talented woman. But Stacey continued to get canceled no matter what field she went in. So after doing a few years of acting, she was canceled. Her acting career was basically over. And then somewhere along the way, Stacey found her way back on Fox News, Fox TV News. And Fox TV, as you all know, is a very conservative uh, TV program. Now, Stacey, at the time she joined, was a Democrat. And in 2008, Stacey voted for Barack Obama. However, at the next election, when Barack Obama was up for re-election, Stacey switched sides. So now you see she's been indoctrinated by Fox News. And she thinks that she can do and say and follow right in the pathway that the other Fox News hosts go. So she then switched sides and becomes a Republican. Now, I don't have a problem with that. If that was her choosing, she has the right to do that. But Stacey felt a little different than other normal Black Republicans because Stacey felt the need to become a right wing conservative. She felt that she had no further need for Black people in her life. So she goes on to not only put Barack Obama on blast, but she endorses and gets fully supportive of Mitt Romney. And again, that's her prerogative. I can't get mad at her for that. But what threw her off? What threw her off of the platform that she thought she had with the Black Americans was when she said that Black folks don't deserve a Black History Month. Okay? there should not be a Black History Month, she said. Furthermore, she said that discrimination should not be only limited to Black people. Okay, she basically saying that white people have a right to charge lawsuits and whatever for discrimination just as well as Black folks do. And she made other similar remarks. And this, as you can well imagine, didn't sit too well with the African Americans in the United States of America. So basically, a short time after the election, Stacy Dash, once again, had her contract canceled by Fox News. Fox News felt that she was a little too far to the right of this conservative propagandist station, the channel, network, and so they let her go. Now, you have not heard anything lately from Stacy Dash, have you? No, neither have I. You see, Stacey has fallen from grace. And let's face the facts, ladies and gentlemen. Stacey is no young chicken. Stacey has some years on her body. She has some age on her body. You see, Stacey is now 68 years old. I'm sorry, 58 years old. And now, here in late 2025, damn near 2026, this 58-year-old woman who once captured the hearts of men all across America has now fallen so low that she is now, and I want to show you another picture, but just want to show you that Stacey does not have the same look now that she had then. But, as with anybody else, the years will take a toll on your looks and your body. So this is the way that Stacy Dash looks today. Now, but here's the big story, the big picture. Stacey, at 58 years old, within the last few weeks, has announced that she has a new profession, if you want to call it that. And what is that profession? Well, Stacey is joining the 20s and early 30s females in becoming an OnlyFans model. Okay? Now, look, she has the right to do that if that's what she wants to do. But I have to question, how in the hell does she think that a 58-year-old body, with all of its wrinkles, with everything that's falling, how the hell does she think she's going to compete with those young 20s and 30s females out there? How in the hell does she think that men across this country will be rushing to the gates, rushing to the computer, okay, or whatever, to send her money to see her flounce her 58-year-old body? I don't care if it's nude, if it's half nude, if it's partially nude. A 58-year-old woman cannot, I don't see how, cannot come anywhere close to competing with 23, 24, 25, 26, 30, 31, 30-year-old women who don't have the age, the hours on their mind, on their bodies, okay? And they are in demand. The early early indications show that there is very, very, very little demand among men to see women of Stacy Dash's age on OnlyFans. They don't want to see it. They won't pay to see it. So Stacy, who after all of her early successes, and in light of her early downfalls, Stacy, who's been in the professional business of being an actress, whatever, she finds herself now at age 58 with a net worth of $100,000. And she thinks that she's going to be making up for lost time now, being an OnlyFans model. Stacy, you know, come on. Now, I mean, I know that you're not the brightest bulb in the pack. We all know that. But certainly, you've got more common sense than to believe that. Face reality, sweetie. Wake up. You know, as well as I do, that basically you've seen your best days. You've seen your best money making days. You are not going to make a substantial amount of money being an OnlyFans model at the age of 58, Stacy Dash. It's not going to happen. Face reality. Your biggest blunder was when you went and threw your lot behind Mitt Romney and stabbing Barack Obama in the back, turning your back on Black people, and now you think that you're going to be forgiven? You think the world is going to see you in another life? No. No, honey. Listen, you have made your bed by your actions. And now, unfortunately for you, you're going to have to sleep in that bed. Okay? You have nobody to blame but Stacy Dash. Don't blame the American public. Don't blame Black folks. You made those wicked, weird decisions to get in bed and try to fit somewhere you didn't want, or you were not wanted, okay? And you try to fit in, and it didn't work, okay? Okay, that's it for Stacy Dash. Now let's move on forward, ladies and gentlemen, and let's talk about another one of these females, one who was a semi-star. I'm not going to call her a superstar, a semi-star in the hip hop world. And let's talk a little bit about her, and I'll show you who she is. And that was a woman who is very well known in the hip hop industry as being a here she is. This is Amber Rose. And Amber Rose was actually a stripper. This is how she first entered the entertainment world, as a stripper. Now, Stacey had bounced around to stripping jobs here and there for a while until she ran upon a video being produced by Kanye West. And she was allowed to participate in that video. And from that participation in that video, she and Kanye West began spending time together outside the work arena. Okay. Yeah, she was Kanye West's woman. Okay. And I'm going to use the word woman because she was never his wife. They didn't get married. Uh, and there was some friction in their relationship. And I'm going to say boyfriend and girlfriend. And a part of that friction, I think, came from her acknowledgement that she also liked other women. That's right, she was bisexual. Now, that relationship between she and Conway was full of adventure. Okay, it was full of adventure. It drew some headlines. It turned some heads, and it eventually led to a separation and a denigration of their romantic relationship. So, what does she do? As you know, in the hip hop world, a lot of those people that are in the hip hop world, they exchange partners. And when I say exchange, I don't necessarily mean exchange, but the females go from one male rapper to another male rapper. The male rappers go from one female rapper to another, and it's all a vicious cycle. Okay. And so she went through several rappers. She got married to one, I believe his name Khalif, Wiz Khalif, or something like that. I'm not really sure. I don't follow the rap world. But she got married and she had a child. The marriage only lasted 1 year. Okay. Now, somehow along the way, Amber Rose began to get the big head. She began to get involved in some commercials. She began to get involved in some videos. She began to make a little money, and success started to go to her head. So, what did she do? Well, she in 2024 made headlines when she went to the Republican National Convention. I believe it was in October of 2024, and embraced the worst president in the United States during his first term. And he was running for re-election. And so Amber Rose goes on stage before millions of people, and she does the same damn thing that Stacy Dash did. She forgot about where she came from. She forgot that she'd made her money from people who look like me and you, who bought her records, who listened to her music, and who paid to see her and provided her with a pretty good living. She went on stage and embraced the enemy, you might say. And let me tell you what she said. And I'm going to quote here. They tried to get me to hate Donald Trump. They told me how bad he was, told me he was a racist. But I didn't listen. You see, I did my research and looked into all things Donald Trump. I watched all the rallies, and I started meeting so many of you, his red hat wearing supporters. I realized that Donald Trump and his supporters don't care if you're black or white, gay or straight. It's a love thing. It's all love. And that's when it hit me. These are my people. This is where I belong. Okay? That's what she said on TV. The listening and viewing audience could not believe what they were hearing from Amber Rose. But she said it. And she said it with a smile, just like you see here. This was Amber Rose turning her back on the very people that she depended upon for the lifestyle that she was living. And she turned them off. And guess what? They turned her off. Okay? So now that was October of 2024. And I had asked all of you a question. Have you heard or seen anything about Amber Rose before this week? And this is December 2025. And let me tell you what you heard at that time. See, Amber Rose has not learned a lesson because Amber Rose then comes forward, and let me show you here. I want to get you the picture of Amber Rose speaking. Here she is speaking at the Republican National Convention in 2024. Okay? And she has been outcast since that time. All right? And she's struggling around trying to be relevant, and she's never regained the popularity that she had prior to October 2024. So now, since she's feeling irrelevant, she reappears in December of 2025, late December, around December the 23rd, and she appears in defense of the next woman we're going to talk about. So she hasn't learned a damn thing. She hasn't learned what side of the bread is buttered. She hasn't learned that. So she then comes on to defend the next woman we want to talk about here, who is also from the hip hop generation and was a flaming success for a while. But then again, age caught up with her, and she, here she is right here. Let me put her up here. This brings us to Nicki Minaj. Okay? And Nicki Minaj, who, like I said, was a flaming success until she began singing the praises of Donald J. Trump, who now is not only the worst president the country's ever seen, he's also a 34-time convicted felon, an outright con man, a devout racist, and white supremacist. And she says on stage, I have so much admiration and respect for this president. What? What, Nicki? What are you saying? Well, she goes on further. Nicki starts talking about the persecution of Christians in the country of Nigeria, which Donald J. Trump is threatening. And since he's no longer threatening, he has started to bombing this little African country called Nigeria. Okay? Now, the people of Nigeria deny the allegations and the claims made by Nicki and Donald Trump that there's any prosecution or persecution of Christians in the country of Nigeria. Yeah, they said there are some factions. Nigeria is mostly a Muslim country. And there's a little bit of friction between the Muslims and the non-Muslims in Nigeria. But there's nothing really to be upset or disturbed about. It's no more prevalent than what you see in the United States of America every day. But you know what? I've never seen nor heard of Nicki addressing the problems that are being faced every day through the actions of Donald J. Trump, the 34th-time convicted felon, to drive a wedge between the races, and Christians included, and here in the United States. Never. Why is that? Why would Nicki do the same damn thing that Amber Rose did, which is turn her back on the very people that she depends on for the lifestyle she's living? She has a net worth of $150 million plus. And let me tell you, not a single one of those people that she sat on the stage with Erica Kirk with, not a single one of those people buy nor listen to her music. Not a single one of them. Yet she goes on there and throws all of her brown and black, gay, and straight, and young and old, music lovers and music buyers, she throws them all under the bus to sing the praises of Donald J. Trump, talking about how handsome he is, talking about how he's given so many people the opportunity to defeat the little guy, okay? She talks and she sings his praises, and then she even slips up when she begins to praise his running mate, well, not his running vice president, J.D. Vance, when she called him an assassin, not realizing who she was talking to. And then she had to retract, okay? But this is who she is. This is who she's been. The woman goes into Nigeria to address problems in the Nigerian country, and she didn't know a damn thing about Nigeria. She's not an ambassador to Nigeria. She has no political affiliation or association with anybody in Nigeria. She knows about as much about Nigeria and Nigerian politics as I do. But yet she's over there because Trump asked her to go over there and show her ignorance, show her foolish self, make an ass out of herself, just like she did on that stage with Erica Kirk. Going on that show basically said to all the Kirk followers and supporters that you condone the way he treated black women in America, including you, Nicki, when he openly said that you, Nicki Minaj, is not worthy of being a role model for young black women. That's what he thinks about you. That's the way he feels about black women. They're not intelligent enough. And that's basically what he's saying about you, Nicki Minaj. And you don't give a damn. You have turned your back on the people that buy your music, the people that listen to your music, the people that go to your concerts, okay, and buy the outlandish, overpriced tickets. But you, Nicki, you have not been smart enough or does not have the common sense enough to see the women we've talked about here that have come before you and realize and recognize what happened to them and how they went down. They didn't go up after making a fool and a clown of themselves. They went down. And you are setting yourself up, Nicki. Let's face the facts. If the allegations are right, you lost over 10 million followers within 24 hours of taking your ass on that stage and making a damn fool of yourself. But you're too stupid to even recognize the mistake you made. So what do next? You delete your Instagram account. Okay? Instead of apologizing to the very people that you've offended, the very people that are going to take away the lifestyle you currently are living, the very people that have supported you all of your career and brought you from a nobody who was born in Trinidad. You're not even a legal citizen of the United States as we speak. But you, Nicki, you know, there's no saying. My dad taught me when I was the age of about 5. And let me tell you, Nicki, my dad was a Christian, a staunch Christian. He was in the church at least 4 days and 4 nights a week. But he told me something, Nicki. He said, charity starts at home and spreads abroad. Now, I say that for this reason, Nicki. I have not followed you, but I have known about you since you started your career in hip hop. I have never seen nor heard of you using your voice to talk about any of the disparities in the United States of America, most of whom were created by the guy you have such respect and admiration for, Donald J. Trump. So, Nicki, what in the hell are you talking about when you talk about an admiration and respect for a 34-time convict, for somebody who's been labeled a pedophile, okay, a child molester, a rapist, a con man, and you want to profess that you have become a devout Christian, and now you want to spout Christian values in other countries, but you say nothing about Christian values in the United States of America? What the hell is wrong with you, Nicki? Your husband, your brother, or your brother's in jail right now. Your husband been convicted of being a pedophile. Your husband failed to register as a sex a sex what do they call it? You know, so you have a relationship with people who commit criminal acts of a sexual nature running through your veins almost. Your husband and your brother. And you profess to admire and respect the hell out of another guy who has the same reputation, who just happens to be the president of the United States. That says a hell of a lot about you, Nicki Minaj. You know, Nicki, if you wanted to do the right thing, and if you have a conviction, and you talk on that stage about having a change of mind, if you had a real change of mind and you were sincere, the first thing you would do is to rebuke your relationship with the hip hop industry, which has caused more damage and more harm to young Black women and Black men than any other movement that I've known throughout my lifetime. You've denigrated the hell out of Black women, bitches and hoes. Remember that, Nicki? You've used the same terms. That's part of your industry. And you are a big part. You're called the queen of hip hop. You've been neck deep in the exploitation of Black young girls and young boys. So if you really wanted to be sincere and you really had a change of mind, you wanted to go to the other side, your first obligation would be to the men, the boys and girls that you have harmed through your association with the hip hop industry. That's what you would do. And you would do everything you could to disassociate yourself, okay? To put as much space between you and them as you possibly could. Now, the second thing you would do, Nicki, is the fact that you have a net worth of 150 million. Why not take at least 5 million and donate it to some nonprofits that could help to educate the very people you and your industry has been denigrating for all of these years? Why not do that? It would have more sincere repercussions than what you're doing by selling your soul to the devil. Nicki, I feel sorry for you in a way. You're not even an American citizen. You're getting involved in politics, and you cannot even vote in American elections. But you have the audacity to go up on a stage and sing the praises of the worst president the United States has seen in its history, who's caused more disparities among the races, black, brown, and white, than any president in modern times. Nicki, you are going to follow in the footsteps of Amber Rose, your friend, and Stacy Dash, who probably is not in your age group, so probably is not a friend. But you didn't have the sense to see what they went through before you, and for you to make the decision to jump in the same hot tub that they jumped into and found out the water was too damn hot. But it was too late for them to get out, because it wasn't what they heard, it was what they saw coming from the mouths of people like you, Amber, Amber Rose, and Stacy Dash. The three of you are like the Fab Three of the entertainment world in the United States of America. Okay? And I have no pity nor any sympathy for you. And no matter what happens, if you lost another 10 million tomorrow, it wouldn't bother me one bit, because you deserve it. Because you, or like so many others, you put money before principle, and you put politics before people. And that combination, Nicki, usually leads to lack of success, not more of success. So I predict, Nicki, that a year from now, you will be a has-been. Your name will not be mentioned among the top echelon of entertainers in the United States. All right? But that's just my opinion, Nicki. Okay? And that's my show for tonight. And I appreciate you people watching. Thank you for watching. I'll see you again next time.